As the summer ended, I pedalled home, through shadows longer than remembered, and evenings when the drone of insects was the only sound I heard. And there, beneath that velvet sky, no longer split by flights of birds, I passed by fields of wheat turned gold from green, and wondered at the things I'd seen, and all the places I had been, and whether it was just a dream from which I must awake. That's my short ode to long-distance cycling. I told you I occasionally dabbled in poetry. And if this trip hasn't been worth a poem, then I don't know what would be. It's been epic, inspirational, exhilarating, exhausting, frustrating, scary, joyous, occasionally painful. I've run through a pretty comprehensive subset of human emotions, and I've come out the other side a better person. Is probably pushing it a little bit. I've basically done nothing for the last 3 months. But though it's been, by some measures, probably one of the least productive periods of my entire adult life, it kind of also feels like one of the most worthwhile. You know, some people like to tell you that time is money, and what they usually mean is that every minute that ticks by has the potential to be converted to some type of wealth. But I think you can flip that round and you can say time is money, so you should think really carefully about what you spend it on. You know, one of the many really big differences between the two is that money is like a pay-as-you-go thing. Your account gets topped up pretty regularly, and if you find yourself getting low, you can spend less or work more, or find some way of getting yourself back in the black. But with time, it's more like a sort of prepaid card. You get your balance, and when you've spent it, that's that. The account is closed. You can't top it up. You can't tell how much you've got left, and you can't tighten your belt and spend less if you think you're getting close to zero. You can't butter your bread on the flat side, as the Swedish like to say, not with time anyway. You're going to spend your balance at the same rate whether you're at home in bed with the flu, in a meeting about quarterly spending, or rafting a river of liquid methane through an ice canyon on Titan. The point is, you can't choose how fast you spend it, but you do have some say in what you get in return. So if time is money, then I think it's worth thinking about what you spend it on, and maybe spending some of it on all of this. It will be nice to get home and to see everyone there, but I have to say, if I didn't have to work, I would be very happy to spend a couple of weeks getting my gear together and tinkering with my bike, and then disappear off on another ride again. It's definitely the lifestyle for me, I think. But, I mean, this one isn't over yet, so I shouldn't talk like that, really. I spent 3 days in Hamburg, which was all right. I don't like cities, I'm not going to lie. I went to the art museum, which was lovely. I went to the Botanic Gardens because I always go to the Botanical Gardens when I'm in a new city. They were very good too. I went to the Miniature Wonderland, which is a warehouse full of miniature railways and miniature landscapes. And it was cool, but it was so crowded I couldn't handle it, and I had to skip out about halfway through. I don't know what people do in cities. Put me on the beach or in a forest with nothing to do and no one to talk to, and I'm happy as Larry. But put me in a city, surrounded by entertainment and distraction and attractions, and I'll be twiddling my thumbs after 24 hours. So I got the train out of there, went to Rotterdam. I met up with my mate Kev for an evening of fine wine, fine dining and lucid philosophical discourse. His friend Jono very kindly let me sleep in his little weekend townhousey thing, which is kind of a super deluxe allotment with a little tiny house on it. It's brilliant, like a patch of the countryside right in the middle of Rotterdam. And we spent the evening there drinking beer and jamming with the neighbours. It was great, really, really cool night. Really enjoyed it. Thank you very much, Kev and Jono. It was awesome. And this morning, with only a slightly fuzzy head, I cycled out of the city out to the coast. My ferry goes from somewhere over there, but it doesn't sail for a good few hours yet. So I've come out to the beach and I'm sitting here doing some whittling, doing some reminiscing. Preferred pastimes of crusty old men since time immemorial. And tomorrow I'll be back in the UK. I think the ferry docks at about 8 o'clock in the morning. And from there I set off on the first day of the last week of this trip. How the hell did that happen?